I'm Walter Day, the father of esports, and you're watching Matty Mo's Arcade.
And you know, long as we're not stuck with Whac-A-Mole.
I'm getting ready to attack. Fanny pack attached. Tokens are all stacked. Got the mallet in my grasp. Waiting for the moles, hiding in their holes. Score, we're keeping tally. I'll be playing till they close now. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. I'm a mallet master, a single-fisted blaster. You can ask my baby, it starts slow then gets faster. I'm a record setter.
First game up is Sink It again. Still have a problem over here with the wheel not turning when you start it up. And it is the motor. I have one on order. The gearbox on the inside must be missing a gear or two. And when it just happens to line up in the right spot, it won't put the balls out. It won't start that wheel because there's no tooth there. So got a new one of those coming, and that should be fine. This one over here just ran out of balls over the weekend. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this one is Tower of Power. As you can see, we don't have a button in here anymore. It looks like they smashed it through here, and I already found it. Here it is. It's the top is smashed. I do have an old button here, and this one will work just fine. The inside was busted here so that it wouldn't hold the micro switch, but it looks like this one's holding fine. So I'm going to swap that out real quick. So this one is busted out here. There's no tabs to hold the micro switch in, but the top of it and this rim around here is what we need for this current button that is broken off here and is destroyed. Focused in here, but this part has the tabs to hold the micro switch, and I don't have a button to replace this with today, so until I can get one in, I'm going to try to use my Dremel tool and just cut around here and insert that part through here, and then cut this part. I'm going to insert that part through here and then cut this part off here, that part right there that I'm scraping on. And then that should hold the micro switch and at least get me through the weekend until Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I can get a part in. I'm going to use my new Dremel tool, and we'll see how it goes. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not a big deal. Then we'll move on to the next game, but I'll come back and show you what I got going on. Well, that didn't work. A whole lot of wasted time. The button sits too high. So we'll just order one and leave the auto order sign on it. I guess it doesn't really matter anyway. I think it's like 5 plays a week. Why am I not focused in? Okay, so let's head out and we'll look at, I guess, Monster Drop for a minute. Running out of time to work on there. It's almost prime time, and we're going to get busy. So I will move on to monitors again. I am going to, let's see, I think I got to finish up that 7500 that's over there. I recapped it, so I think, if that's it anyway, I'm not sure. I did recap the last one I was testing, and it had some life to it, but I think, I can't remember. I think the colors looked weird. There was something weird going on with it, but I guess we'll find out. Let's go back out to the arcade and continue the arcade repair vlog. Alright, well, the button fit the hole, of course, and it fit in there, and I was able to tighten it down, so there's no hole in the game, but it doesn't work. So the spring is just too high or something. I didn't have time to figure it out. Anyway, I'm just going to throw this chassis in here after I've recapped it, went all through it, and I think everything is good. See, the last time I hooked it up was the last video. The last chassis, and I do believe it fired up, but we got nothing on the screen, and I do believe that was because we didn't have the TPG turned on. I'm hoping anyway. So I'm a little confused on this hookup here, because this Okay, it is for video. I thought there was a remote board for this, but I don't see where. Okay, the remote board must hook up here. Wait a minute, that's weird. No, this goes here. No. Control board does go there. Okay. Well, let me hook that up real fast before I put this in here. This must be it here. Okay, this is it. I hope I'm on camera. Just putting this control board on here before we put this chassis in. You might be able to hear, it is just crazy out there. And I bet it's like 3 kids. But I can't hear myself think back here. So it is time to leave and go have a drink. I can't take all this damn screaming. You bring your kids to somewhere and you just let them scream like they're getting murdered. You know, you're ruining other people's good time. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Especially people who work here who have to hear screaming all the time. But bloody murder screaming, I mean, come on. Are you really dying out there? I understand why guys think all women are crazy. They only have one reaction to things when they're growing up. It's to scream like they're dying. And it's not just dying. It's a bloody, brutal mess. Ridiculous. So, like I said, we had some high-pitched whine coming out of here, and I don't have the screws to put that in there right now. Okay, I'll just have to remember that it's not mounted. And we got one of these in here. It's one of these little guys. Each one of these 7500s has one. And I think it has to do with the horizontal hold. I can't remember now. I've worked on so many in such a short time, my mind is just going mush. Probably should have discharged it again first. Forgot. That's what happens when people just scream, scream, scream. Oh, ugh. Okay, there's this little transistor that's on the chassis, and this one is broken. So let me find another one. Got another one over here. Damn it. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I found it. I just put it away. You get a little bit closer, you guys see what I'm doing. Yeah, I just put it away so I didn't lose it. Each chassis that I have has the plug, and they all had a transistor plugged in here instead of mounted to the chassis like this one. But 2 out of the 3 from this customer were bad, and I think almost everyone from the other customer was broken at the chassis, like they yanked it off and broke the leg off. So if you are working on one of these, you want to be careful of putting the legs on this. And show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, it's right there. If we can focus, focus, focus. Okay, there's the guy right there in the corner. And you can see it's only got 2 legs on it. And the middle one's about to break off too. And these were fine, but I've tested the chassis probably 10 times on here, and that was enough to kill the legs on that guy. So I'm not doing that with these next ones. I'm just going to plug them in straight legged and go from there. We'll just make sure it doesn't hit anything and short out, hopefully. I just need this ground on the neck board here. Let's see, it should be on there. It is hidden behind these transistors. These transistors on the 7500, let me see if you can see them here. Let me come over just a little bit. Okay, they're these tombstone looking guys hanging over here. These things, the heat sinks and the transistors, well, they get so hot that they lift the traces and the solder pads on the back side of the neck board, and then they just kind of limply fall around. And even if you run jumper wires on them, they're still not attached to the board like they were at the factory. They still kind of fall around, and if they fall and touch, they'll short out and you'll have all kinds of problems, which I could be having with many of these. I'm not sure on that yet. But we'll get there when we get there. But you want to make sure that those guys do not touch and they stay apart from each other. Like I said, otherwise you're going to have some major issues. Maybe not major, but more headaches than it's worth. So I think this is it. Oh, we need the degauss, which is over here on the left side, right next to the fuse. And I think that'll get that. Make sure I'm not plugged in. Get my jerry-rigged little power cord going over here. I have a much better setup for almost every monitor, but this one did not work out. I gotta make an adapter to go into my series of adapters for power plugs. What is going on here? There we go. So I got black tape running around, just bare pins. Nothing's gonna touch. No, I'm not worried about that, but it's just not as nice as I'd like it to be. Okay, I think we're good to go. We need to hook the TPG up. Back you up a little bit. I think I got this from Mike's Arcade. They sell them at a lot of places. It's the Crafty Mech test pattern generator. Super handy, super helpful. I mean, keeps you from having to take, like in my case, I would have to take the game or the monitor out to a game in the arcade to test it, or hook the chassis up to an existing game out in the arcade, and it's just not doable. So at least this way I can just sit back here and do my work and just be annoyed by the screaming children who are getting murdered out there. By the way, my channel is not for children. I'm supposed to tell everyone, if you're a child, get bent and go outside and play. Stop getting our channels demonetized. It's so stupid. Personally, I think if you're a kid and you wanted to learn something, I think that's fantastic. But the government and YouTube doesn't want you to learn anything. They want you to stay stupid. So just remember that. They're not out for you. They're out to get you. That ought to get it. And let's plug it in on this side. Oh, no. So on this monitor, I've been testing K7500. They have a negative sync. On this monitor, I do believe I can have negative or positive, but I put it on positive, because most of them are. I'm just trying to keep it all straight in my head. Most of you aren't going to be fixing 25 monitors at a time, so it won't matter. And on this side, you want to make sure all your wires are hooked up the same way. And most importantly, you want to turn the stupid thing off when you get done. Now it says it has this built-in timer where it turns itself off. If that's the case, you got to turn it on somewhere in the settings, because mine does not do that. I've already burned through, like, I think the first 3 times I used it, I had to put a new battery in it. Okay, now we're ready for some power. Now I will back up just in case. I'm not afraid of the monitor blowing up on me. I'm just afraid of shrapnel from cats or anything else that would explode. Okay. Now hopefully we hear high voltage, which we did last time. And there was no picture. And like I said, I really hope it was just because I didn't turn the TPG on, which is possible. It did make some weird noises and I ran. There we go. Fire in a hole. Nothing. That's not good. I wonder if I hooked the right one in. Okay, let me check. How much time are we at? 6 minutes, okay. Let me check and see. I wonder if this is, no, this is the one I was working on. It's on there good, that's on there. Guess I could have checked for neck flow. Power's hooked in. I am plugged in, right? Let's make sure all my sure why that didn't fire on. Got a fuse in there. Alright, well, let me take a break here for a second and look this over. I'm gonna try to make this quick so we can get this video up and running tonight. So I'm a big fat dummy. I figured that's what it was. I forgot to hook in the yoke wires. And when you're doing arcade repair and you are extremely annoyed and extremely distracted, you should probably just take a break and come back when you can have a clear head. I plugged in, anode in, without discharging it. Not like I'm too worried about it. I get shocked all the time. That's from being lazy or in a hurry. Alright, so that should be good there. I did try it one more time and I heard it kick on. It's just nothing really happened. You could just hear it kind of. There was definitely power going to it. Alright, so let me move this out of the way. A little bit too much light down here. Alright, so I think we should be ready this time. The yoke is hooked up. Let me just make sure. Deg off. Got our little transistor guy, whatever it is. I didn't even look. I think we're good. Alright, here we go. Okay, still nothing. Not a cold solder joint. I can hear it. It's just not giving high voltage. Alright, I'm gonna check the B+ real fast, and then we will adjust that accordingly, and then I'll be back. Hopefully it'll fire up, and that's all it needs. Usually you're supposed to adjust the B+ after a cap kit, and I did not do that because I was trying to hurry for this video. May not come out tonight. This should work this time. High voltage. That will look good, but at least it's coming on. Vertical hold. Where's the H hold? This is probably the one that's not on here. This position. I don't even know if these pops are good. Come on, man. Height, width. H position, vertical hold, vertical position, no H hold. I was just looking at all the pops, I did not see it.
That's all, folks.
So these two right here are going to be ground and 5 volts. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is, a nice little trade. Person I traded got what they wanted, I got what I wanted, and a pretty good deal on it too. Super hang on.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
What happened? Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.